Hi, everyone, and welcome back to the Ricky. So today, my friend is so today we're going to be doing a recap of of the Real Housewives of Potomac. I almost said Life After Lifestyle in error, and so we're going to be recapping that episode today. All right, so the episode it started out with it was showing Mia and G packing, getting ready for the trip, and something that stuck out to me was when G was talking to Mia and he was saying, he was trying to recall when was the last time just the two of them went on vacation together. And he was saying that he would rather go on a vacation with just them two. He doesn't like going on couples trips. And so as I get into the episode, you'll see why that statement stuck out to me. All right. So Mia reveals that her mom is watching the kids. This is the first time the mom has watched her kids. And she's going to do that while they're on the trip. And then we see Candiace and Chris talking. Okay, so Candiace basically is talking to Chris about her career and then the party at Giselle's house. Okay, Candiace is, of course, throwing some um, shade around, of course, as she's describing what happened at the event. All right, so Ashley, we also see Ashley, she goes to visit Robin. Okay, and so they discuss Wendy and what happened at Giselle's and Robin's party. They discussed Mia as well. And then they also discussed the group text. Um, I guess Wendy sent it out. I'm not for sure who was the sender of it. I'm assuming that it was Wendy. And so in the group text, that's when Giselle had declined to go. Wendy was nice about us saying the text. And so that's when Robin disclosed to Ashley that she's not going to go on the trip. And she feels like Wendy picks on her a lot. She feels like anytime she says anything to Wendy, Wendy takes it the wrong way and starts screaming and yelling at her. So for me, I'm gonna add my little 2 cents in here. I just felt like Robin really wanted to be a victim in that moment. I'm like, every time that girl is not just picking on you, you do play a part in some of why you're getting some smartness in the remarks from her. And I think Robin needs to realize that. What did you guys think about that conversation?
Well, I think I agree. Robin does. She says things that um can be, contributing to the argument as well. But I mean, I do think Wendy is like when she gets mad, like she does get like just super loud and just like, and she doesn't take any criticism or anything well. Like I would say out of everybody, I think she takes everything to heart the most. And to me, in that group, you just can't be like that. But I don't think Robin was a victim by any means. Like she played her part in it too. But I guess I can see where she's coming from. Like if she tried to say something to Wendy, Wendy does get defensive on everything now, it seems like.
Mhm.
Okay, so
Yeah, and then there's some stuff we don't see. So we don't really know how many interactions they've had with each other after the first trip. I can't remember where they went, but after the first trip, we don't really see their interactions. And like we've already said before, Wendy's apology to her was insincere. And I just think at this point, their relationship is broken. I don't think Wendy's going to try and be cool with her nor Giselle. She seems to try and be cool with Mia, which is kind of weird, but we'll see what happens.
but for me, it's like she flip flops with Mia. It's like one moment, she's cool, and I think she even defended Mia once. But
Mm.
then once they go onto the trip, that's another breakup. She was doing some things, and I'm like, wait a minute, are you not cool with Mia? Like, I'm not understanding what's going on right here. So yeah, okay. And so we also see Ray and Karen. They have a discussion. I like to watch Ray and Karen together. I really do. They're funny and stuff. And then like both of them were kind of throwing shade around, but it wasn't like it was a mean shade. So Karen had said something that was like a statement of the night to me. She said that um, the way she saw Robin thumbing herself in Williamsburg, it's clear Robin is taking care of herself, so she'll probably be bringing herself on the trip. I was like, this girl here. And then, Ray had made like a little slide statement about who, who is Giselle going to bring her hairdresser. So, yeah, so that was funny to me, their little scene together. And so Demille says Wendy is a big baby and Robin is a crybaby. I can agree with that. I do. I do. I can definitely agree with that. I feel like, especially on this episode. Okay. And so Ashley and Karen are riding together to the trip. And so Ashley shows up and Ray helps her get, no, I'm sorry, Ray helps Karen get her stuff into the car. And they're really lovey dovey as they're doing it, which again, I think is cute. I can appreciate that. After all these years, they can be lovey dovey towards each other. All right. So then Gordon and Mia, we see Gordon and Mia arrive um, at the house. It's a beautiful house, big, gorgeous home. And they arrive, and Gordon is making a lot of valet jokes. But I'm kind of wondering if there was some truth behind it because he kept on going with the valet jokes. I'm like, clearly there's no valet here, and I think you know that. I don't know why you're still going with the jokes. Um, and so they start drinking. They immediately starts drinking. Wendy has everybody doing shots, and she's calling the trip. She says it's GVO, good vibes only, or GTFO, get the F out. And so she wants them to start drinking and having a good time. And so Mia tells Wendy that if you see me worrying about my kids a lot, it's because of they're with my mom. And then she starts explaining her history with her mom. Which I guess I'll speak on that. Which I kind of felt, I didn't feel like that was a casual conversation. I felt like that was something she was trying to let Wendy know her mom's story. I felt like that's what she was really trying to get out there. So possibly Wendy will be mad or be on her side as far as Candiace goes. So I don't know. What do you guys think of the scenes that I just talked about? Did y'all have any thoughts about that?
I could see that. I was kind of wondering why the way she threw it out there, but it makes sense if you look at it like that. And she's trying to get an ally because really, to me, Wendy took it like super like, oh my gosh, she's sharing this with me. And she don't even realize she already told the story to other people. So it's not like, she just chose you and you're this special friend. I mean, she's slowly telling everybody because I'm sure Karen knows. And then, of course, Robin and Giselle know. It's her choice when she want to tell it, but I do think there was motive behind it.
Absolutely, yeah. So what did you think of those scenes, Johnny? I know it wasn't a lot to unpack there, but did you have any thoughts?
No thoughts.
Okay. All right. So okay, so as they're drinking and stuff, Chris and Candiace, they show up. They start partaking in the drinking. And G gets a little loose. As they're drinking. Okay. And so he starts saying some things that I'm kind of like, I don't know if you should be saying and doing those things. He was humping the air. He was licking his tongue out and, stuff like that. And Ascala and her husband, Dre, appear. So we finally see her husband. And, everybody is hugging on him. It's obvious they've met him before. So it's great to see you again, Dre, and stuff like that. So then they also partake in the drinking. But Candiace kind of mouths to Ascala, trying to let her know that, G has been a little loose at the lips. So at one point, Mia revealed that, her and G, they go to strip clubs. Or was it G that said it? I'm not for sure which one of them said it.
It was
But
G.
one of them, yeah, okay. So G has said that he goes to the strip club, but he only goes with Mia. And, when they go in there, Mia picks out, girls for him or whatever. And Mia says, well, he really only likes white girls. the white strippers or whatever. And and so you could tell Candiace is still bothered by the last time they were together, that she's sitting to the side and she's making little smart comments and stuff along with, I feel like almost anytime Mia says something, there is a smart comment to come. And so at one point, G walks into the room and he has his phone and he's like, Mia, here, talk to somebody on the phone. And it's a guy from a dealership and he's letting her know that G has bought her a G Wagon that she's going to get to customize. Which I don't know how I felt really about G announcing that in front of everybody. I get it. It is a nice gift and they've been together, what he said, like 8 or 9 years. So I get it. That would be a nice gift to get. But it was just, I was just like, I didn't feel like they were vibing and having a good time at this point. Because, like I said, it's clear that Candiace and Mia are taking little shots at each other. So I don't know. Maybe he did that to lighten the mood. Maybe I don't know. So Ashley and Karen arrive. All right, so they go upstairs. Candiace grabs a scholar or whatever, and they go upstairs. And so they're sitting in a room that I guess Candiace wants to be her room, and she's talking to a scholar about Mia. So Wendy comes up there and is like, "Hey, what are y'all doing?" And she gets on the bed, and they're talking about Mia and G because downstairs, when G was trying to get Mia to talk to the guy from the dealership, she kind of wasn't listening or paying attention a little bit to what was going on. And he was like, wait a minute, it's not often I get to tell you to shut the F up. And so he tells her, shut the F up. Okay. But Candiace is in the room because she's so appalled that G said that, which I can kind of get that because if you're around a couple and you don't know that they talk to each other like that.
Oh, they went down there when that happened.
No, they were upstairs.
Yeah, they were Candiace and
yeah. Candiace and a scholar, and then Wendy walked in on them. Yeah. And so Mia walks in on them and it's kind of like, well, what are y'all talking about? And they start telling Mia that, okay, your husband told you to shut the fuck up. Oh, excuse me, shut the F up in front of everybody or whatever. She was like, okay, we talk to each other like that. Which I get it because I've been that way with my booze before, but we didn't do it in public to each other. Saying stuff like that. I didn't take it the way G said it. I didn't take it like, oh, it was in an abusive way because he actually said it's not often that I get to tell you this. And so I'm saying this to you so you'll listen on that phone. But I can get how somebody may feel uncomfortable hearing him say that to her in front of them. But I felt like at that moment, I felt like they were making it a bigger deal than what it truly was. I could see if Mia was upset and crying or something, and y'all are like, how does he talk to you when you're in private? Because Wendy made that statement, but she didn't say that when Mia was in the room. And so while they're in the room, Mia and Candiace end up having a moment, which this episode I was going back and forth. Team Mia, Team Candiace, Team Mia, Team Candiace. But some of the stuff that was said to her in the room, I was kind of like, Mia didn't really deserve that. Like Candiace called her a night crawler, was talking about her feet, and Mia's like, I love my feet though. Which, I mean, I'm kind of tired of hearing the whole feet convo. Kind of over that. I'm like, that joke's played out. Okay. It was entertaining the first time you said it, but now it's just, I don't know. It's not giving me what I think you're trying to get us. What did y'all think about the bedroom scene?
Whoa, so I want to go all the way back to the kitchen.
Okay, let's go back to the kitchen. Let's go back. Let's go back down to the kitchen.
First of all, I think it just got, you know what I'm saying? You kind of don't know how to take that whole situation because when you go back to the kitchen, this dude there talking about some, where the white women at? You know what I'm saying? And
yeah, he
was the weirdest part. I was like, okay, yeah, you just made me uncomfortable. If I was in there, I'd have been like, what is going on right now? You know what I'm saying? That just got super weird. So I'd have been like, okay, chalk it up to him being drunk.
Uh-huh.
Then you have the whole, I know Candiace and Mascala didn't hear it, but the way he said the shut the F up part. Like, I mean, it wasn't abusive, but it still came out kind of disrespectful. And it's just one of them things where like you just don't want to appear to talk to, even if it's what you do at home.
Yeah.
Yeah. Especially for somebody who come off super classy too. You know what I mean? Like your husband talk to you like that, but yeah, you want me to look at you like this classy businesswoman who's like, you know what I'm saying? It's like people want to be looked at a certain way, but then you don't. Your actions are showing that you don't. That's not how you. You know what I'm saying? You want us to look at you like the Michelle Obama, but I guarantee you, she wouldn't have let Barack talk to her like that in public. You know what I'm saying? So that's the part where I said that's probably not okay. But but as far as G, like he just made it real uncomfortable because I liked him in some of the other scenes, like the at home G, super chill, whatever. And I thought even in the first party they came to, he was fun. But this one, he a bit much. But I guess they had a lot to drink really quick. And yeah, and then the fact of like I agree with the going back and forth with Candiace and Mia because like I know everybody's getting mad at Candiace for what she keeps saying about the girl's mama, but I feel like she just saying it like the old school, your mama, you know, you ugly, your mama ugly, you this, your mama this, you know what I'm saying? I feel like that's how she's using it. Because she's just kind of immature like that. I don't think it's like a direct jab like your mama personally is this and that. I think it's just one of them, your mama, you know what I'm saying? Just an immature thing is what I'm taking with Candiace. And the big feet thing, that is getting old. Just like calling what's called forehead big is getting old. That's like played out now. Come up with something else. Um, but I do feel like Mia is throwing jabs too that to me ain't cool. Like by saying is your stuff was low budget. Just take the criticism. Like, no, I'm not gonna just take the criticism. Like, you know, this is my first time doing this, my first video, whatever, and maybe the money she spent didn't feel low budget. And then, you know, the comment she made about her best friend, you know.
Yeah, now I did feel like Mia was out of line. She was like, well, let me talk to my friends that aren't broke, and then said, yeah, something about broke bitches. I did think she was out of line for that.
Yeah.
Um,
But
and I guess listening to your point of view, like my thought process is her video did look low budget, but
yeah,
maybe
but
a nicer way to say it.
hmm
But it was low budget at the end of the day. That was a low budget video, you know.
It's low budget, just like there's low budget movies, there's low budget videos. It was a low
Yeah,
budget video. Your cars didn't even show up. You had to ask other people to use their cars. Matter of fact, you asked Mia to use her car in your video. That is
right,
low budget.
no,
And
right,
I get
imagine when
that.
you like come up, you show up somewhere and you're thinking it's supposed to be a bunch of people looking like,
yeah,
where's everybody at? And you're
Mm-hmm.
like, what the hell is this? What am I at the right place? You got freaking
right.
tractors
Yeah.
Yeah,
going
that's what I
whatever.
said. I do agree with Mia that it was low budget. But I think Candace jumped on the defensive because there could have been a little bit of a not so snippy way. I felt like Mia was a little snippy when she said it to her, and
Well,
which put
yeah,
Candace in the defensive.
I guess you know it's low budget, but I guess if you putting all your own money into it, it's kind of like a girl with her candle. Like her stuff right now ain't nothing because she's putting all her, you know what I'm saying. But once she got to the level of where Karen is, where her stuff's being put into a store, you know what I mean, and she's not having to fund everything herself, I'm sure. Then yeah, you're gonna have better quality. But
But
okay,
I feel like she needs
her
to
stuff.
understand she did fund it herself, and she only spent $10,000, so it is low budget. I
But you
mean,
don't
Yeah.
expect the
Mia didn't
people in your
lie.
life
I mean,
to say
Mia
that
didn't
about
lie
you.
there,
I
but
yeah, I think when it comes to the criticism, it is criticism because
Mhm.
even if it were low budget, you should have had enough people around to explain what was going on or what was happening or have
yeah,
backup. You know what I'm saying? Like everything shouldn't have just been at the draw. And then
right.
you took it to heart personally because you knew, I think personally, when you get
She
attacked
knew
like
it was
that,
low budget.
you
Yeah,
knew you didn't do what you should have done. And now you
right.
have this person coming at you and you just don't know how to just be like, You're right. Because guess what? Had that been me, you know what? You're right. We ain't all balling like you. This came out of my pocket, my budget. Yep, it was
Okay.
low, but I bet you next time it'll be high. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and I
Just
totally
Wendy.
agree with you on that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It probably comes off more offensive too, because like you said, Mia is constantly throwing her money and her status in their faces. So like
yeah,
this ain't the first time she's made a comment that put
no,
somebody at a level where you might have felt like you was doing all right, but then here she comes talking down to you. And that's why I think Skylar's getting taken it so personal, because she's been the butt of Mia's comments before, multiple times with the whole um
money
finance
and
thing.
status.
Yeah. And then too, like you were just going after old girl's husband, and you were backing Wendy just a minute ago saying don't come for somebody's husband, and you went for hers. So it's like, yeah, they I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah, but like I said, I totally did not like her when she was making the statement calling them broke bitches. I was like, that wasn't necessary. If you're mad at Candiace, be mad at Candiace, but you don't have to say that about everybody else. And then it's like, oh, let me go find Karen. Karen understands me. I'm like, girl, that I
Well,
don't really.
I don't think Wendy was involved in that comment. I think that comment was to Ascala and Candiace. I don't think she meant
Yeah,
Wendy in that part of it.
no,
And
you know what? I don't believe she threw Wendy in that part on it, but it's kind of like, but Wendy was there when you said it.
Mhm.
So who exactly was the broke bitches? That's what I need you to explain. Who were you calling the broke bitches? Like my assumption, I agree with you. I don't think she was talking about Wendy because Wendy did when they were going back and forth. Ascala had jumped in, and Wendy was like, "No, no, kind of trying to stop them from double teaming on Mia. So I don't think it was necessarily at Wendy, but it was just the way she said it. It could be perceived that way. Maybe.
Yeah.
So yeah. All right. So they go back downstairs, and of course, so Mia is talking to Ashley, and she's like, "Yeah, she's just mean," and she's saying some other stuff about Candiace. Candiace is like, "I'm standing right here. You're gonna talk about me. You can direct it at me." And so Wendy decides to let them know, how they're going to choose their rooms. So Wendy says that, I had to write it down to make sure I remember, that Wendy, Karen, and Ascala, oh, see, I've been calling her name this whole time. Y'all haven't said anything to me. So Alpaca, so Karen, Wendy, and Alpaca, they get to pick their rooms first because when they went to Williamsburg, they were put into the cottage, right? So then next, she says Ashley gets to choose because she knows Ashley left her baby, at home to come on the trip. And then she says Candiace gets to pick the last room, which it seems like Candiace just wasn't feeling that. But I'm like, Candiace, look how you did that, girl, when you were the host. So you can't even remotely get mad. At least you're still in the house. She didn't put you off in a cottage where you got to ride a golf cart to get back to the main house. And so, as I stated, Candace was upset by that. And Candace, so the guys, they go outside as they should. They shouldn't be around the women bickering. They need to go outside and have their men time. So they're outside, doing their men thing. And of course, the ladies start bickering. So Candace and Mia get into it again. Um, Candace tells Mia that G is her pimp. It's like, where's your pimp at? And so Mia starts kind of doing like a little prance and is like, where's the pimp at? Your hoe is here or whatever. And so Candace starts screaming, which this part I did not like. I'm like, don't try to bring the men in to women's fights. Like, I don't like that. So, because I was like, if Mia tried to bring Chris in, Candace would not have liked that. So I'm like, leave the men alone. Let the men do their thing and don't be trying to bring them into your pettiness. But she's just like, go get your pimp and like, gee, come get your did she say come get your hoe? I think that's what she said. Yeah. It was like, come get your hoe. And so And then this is my other part that I did not like. Mia goes and gets G. And I'm like, why would you do that? Like, y'all leave the man alone. And so she comes back and is prancing around. Her and Candiace continue to have words back and forth. And I don't remember what was said that made Candiace, she picked up like a piece of lettuce and she threw it, not, I won't say at Mia, like, but she threw it in like in Mia's direction. Mia turns around and she,
Mia
like,
threw it first, then she threw it back at Mia.
Candiace threw first.
I thought Candiace threw it first.
Yeah, Candiace threw the little piece of lettuce first, and then Mia turned around, grabbed it, and threw it all at her. And then Candiace picked it up and threw it at her.
So I ain't seen a little tiny piece then.
Yeah, Candiace started it first.
And so they're really going at it, screaming and yelling. And then Candiace is like, your mama again. But not Candiace, but Karen comes and stands in between them and is like, no, Candiace, no. Like, like, no, 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 no. And then, of course, it cuts off. True Bravo fashion, it cuts off right there. So what did y'all think of the fight downstairs?
Goodness, I feel like we've missed so much stuff here because I forgot to talk about G and how he talked about how he was going to F his wife that night.
Oh, yeah, and then he had the tall...
oh, my gosh. He was like, I would be so embarrassed if my husband... I'm not married, but if I had a husband and he ever talked like that about me in front of a group of guys, I would feel very low budget.
Yeah.
Because to me, that's something you don't discuss with other men. You keep that kind of stuff to yourself. They'll hear. If you don't have it that good, they'll hear. They'll hear exactly how good it was. But you don't have to broadcast it. I just think it's totally as all their fights always are, miscommunication. You have one person who's just not wanting to listen. And then two, because we never talked about what happened last week, Candiace's mom was dead ass wrong. She didn't even own her own stuff.
Oh, no, she didn't.
The one going around telling everybody this, that, and the other as to who would listen. But when she came off to Candiace, she tried to make it seem like it was all Mia coming to her. And she didn't understand where all that came from. And, oh, my gosh, I can't believe she was asking me all those questions. I just didn't understand. And I think with Candiace having that already in her head, I just think she just shut down. And I really feel I'm just a person about owning it. Like everything she said to Mia owned it. Oh, okay. You think I'm a night crawler. You think I'm a hoe. You think he's my pimp. Hey, pimp, come on. Let's go. Here's your hoe. Come get this and something other. You know what I'm saying? She owns every attack that she came her way with. Oh, your big feet. Yes, I love my big feet. Oh, you're this. Yes, I love this. You know what I'm saying? And I have to admit, I just loved it.
Yeah. Even with the shut the F up. She was like, oh, and what's wrong with that? We talked about that. She
doesn't find anything wrong with it. And that's everybody, that's their own relationship. You can never judge a person by their own relationship. If that's how they roll, that's just how they roll.
Right.
It's not for you to judge. And if you do judge, that's just on you. If it makes you uncomfortable, then don't hang out with them. He was a little off, though. I think maybe it was being knocked up in the house with the kids for too long and not being around other adults that he just felt like he had to just room.
Yeah, and something else I thought about was it looked like it was early in the day. But I don't know what time it was. So maybe he hadn't had breakfast yet, and then here he is putting Grey Goose on his stomach. That's almost what I'm thinking because it seems like he was drinking at Karen's party too, but he wasn't behaving like that.
Yeah, and then if you saw I think when she grabbed him, because he was on the couch. Or is that next week's photo where he's eating? You see him eating? Because he was off on the side. He wasn't with the other guys.
You know what? There was a part where he was like eating a sandwich or something. He had something.
Yeah. So he was eating. So I think maybe it did kind of hit him too fast and he wasn't prepared for that. As far as them, you would think after Candiace got her head smashed in the damn table that she wouldn't start stuff by throwing things. And
Yeah.
I don't know that I'd been so upset about a piece of lettuce being thrown at me, but hey, to each his own. To throw it all back, but I think she almost caught something else to throw at her too, because it
Mm.
looked like something almost shattered.
That was the next episode, I think.
Is that the next episode? Because I'm like, dang, you
Yeah,
started it by throwing it first.
you only saw the lettuce start, and then that kind of got broken up a little bit there.
Yeah.
And
Well, I
she's
don't.
so mad for somebody to
She
be so
is.
happy with their life. She is like really angry,
She
and
is. Yeah.
that's crazy to. She's just really angry, and everybody was trying to stop her about talking about Mia's mom. And I think at that particular point, Mia had enough of her referring to her mom as a low budget, as this,
Yeah.
as that, because obviously her mom is going to watch this,
Right.
and you don't know what kind of. Do I think she was being malicious and knowing it? No, but then Wendy said something that made me think she does know, because Wendy was like, Candiace can be evil pretty much. She said that Candiace can be very beneath the belt. So that would be a beneath the belt comment if you knew.
Yeah.
And for her to say that she was being beneath the belt and knocking her under the belt or knew, she was kind of referring like she probably knew the history or knows the story. And I don't necessarily know how she would know it outside of Karen, because Giselle and Giselle and Robin have kind of kept that to the vest. And even when Robin told Ashley, it wasn't gossipy. It was just like, do you know? Because I don't think she realized how much, again, because we don't know how much time has been between the ladies, how long they've been hanging out, this, that, and the other. And she asked her, did she know? She didn't go into details about her being adopted or any of that kind of stuff. She just went into, she had drug issues, but
Yeah.
she's been sober. That's all she said. She didn't give her the whole detail that Mia gave her. So I think it's always to be careful. I think at some point as adults, there's no need to bring mamas in it.
Yeah. It's a childish.
It's so childish. I don't. I would, if somebody said your mama, I think I would laugh and be like, am I really arguing with a grown ass mama who talked about a grown ass woman who talked about my mom? Like, really? No, I think I'm above that. I'm walking off. I don't have any interest in arguing with somebody who can't think outside the box, outside of my mom.
But you know what? But like your experience with your mom would be different than, like Mia has really gone through things like her mom being on drugs and going to prison. So it might actually hit close to home for her. So if she was mad, because I feel like Candiace was out of line for saying it. I was like, it's just juvenile. It's like, what are you going to say next to her? Nanny boo boo? Like,
Right.
what are you doing? So that was it for me. And then to jump back to Robin and Ashley. So there was a part there where like the baby started crying, right? And so Ashley whips out her boob and is like, here, use this as a pacifier. I'm like, look here, I'm all for women breastfeeding. So I don't want anybody to think that I'm not. But when you do stuff like that, where you're just putting your boob in his mouth, talking about use it as a pacifier, that's why I think some people have a problem with women breastfeeding in public. They don't understand that you're really trying to feed your baby. And then here you are on TV talking about just use it as a pacifier. Like,
yeah, because even Robin was like, really, Ashley?
yeah, you can see her face. Yeah.
Just go around and give him his pacifier. Because
Absolutely.
he wasn't hungry. He just probably, and that was the thing. That's what she said. He's one of those babies that like to be walked around and rocked. And she didn't feel like doing that. So she just figured the boob would put him to sleep.
I'm like, give that baby a real pacifier. And then you're going to be complaining about your nipples in the next episode. He didn't chew them raw. Like, what? Like, oh my gosh. So, yeah. And then I also thought it was kind of funny, like when they showed like clips of Giselle and Robin at the house while the other ladies were headed off to the vacation home. And like Robin, Giselle is walking around her house picking up her house, and Robin is clipping her son's toenails. I'm like, you're trying to make them look like they just really ain't got, well, they may not, I don't know. But I was like, y'all kind of make it look like they ain't got nothing else going on at all.
No, I always think of things the other way. It's like those were their better things they had to do than go on that trip. And of course, I'm sorry if you invited me the way Wendy invited them on the trip, because once she had talked to everybody else except for Giselle and Robin and Ashley. She talked to everyone else already about the trip. Everyone already knew about the trip except for those three. And then the way she invited them, I wouldn't want to go either. Why would I want to go? I'm kind of surprised they actually showed up in the end, but I think they
They probably
probably were
showed
forced
up
to.
because they want that check. Because my thought
Yeah,
process
that's why I
is,
said they were
is
forced to.
yeah, yeah. Because my thought process is that y'all clearly aren't friends, but that's supposedly the premise of the show. We're supposed to be watching, well-to-do women hanging out, and we're seeing how they interact. But if y'all are visibly showing us y'all aren't friends, then I'm pretty sure production was probably like, no, y'all need to go on this trip.
Yeah.
We're not going to spend the money to have all these extra cameras. Y'all need to go. And I could totally understand it because if that's the picture you're trying to paint for us, and that's the reason why I'm not really watching them to see Bad Girls Club, to be honest.
Yeah.
Now I get it, fights will break out because people are gonna disagree, but to just, I don't know. That's just my thought process on it. But yeah, there was a lot of things, and I feel like I jumped over some things. I think I was just going, and I was just not really thinking about all of it. Because there was also when G was talking about, I guess, having sex with, I think it was this part when he was talking about having sex with Mia, and Candiace made a sly remark and was like, "Does it still get hard?" Did y'all hear that?
Mm-hmm.
When she said that, I'm like,
I
just
guess
some
it
of this
does
stuff
not.
was saying, I'm
But
like,
why would you even ask that question? And then the part
right,
that was also funny was how she was so offended that he likes white women. So you like
right,
white men. So why are you?
right. And then she made a statement about feeling uncomfortable with G saying certain things, but it's like, Candiace, you were the one who told all of us that Chris' penis is brown. You said that, And it's like, what? It says she can't help herself. She low budget. Janelle.
Good one.
Absolutely. So, Reese, you've been a little quiet. What are your thoughts on tonight's episode?
Oh shoot, we all over the place.
We are. But it's all right.
I don't even know where to go because usually we break it in sections. So what were we talking? The fight. So I missed a little bit.
Part.
Huh?
Yeah, any part. I say any part. You can kind of jump on your.
So I missed a little the first initial let us throw, but I think like a lot of that anger too was just literally still boiling over from that other party where she didn't get Candiace didn't really get to finish her little, doing her thing at Mia and saying like I'm throwing back the energy back at you that
Oh, that
you know
projection
you're
thing.
insecure, yeah, calling her insecure and all that stuff. Um and then Mia, I don't know if the joking back on like making fun of herself is a way of deflecting things that maybe do make her insecure. But I mean, I do think it's cool that she can do that because not everybody can.
Right.
But I don't know. It's just still there was just some parts of it I just felt like I don't know. I didn't really care for how Mia acted either. Candiace was just being super immature, and she been being immature since like the last party. So I mean, I really didn't expect her to come in acting mature because yeah, she was on the last episode acting crazy and immature. And then, like I said again, the mama thing. I don't think it's a personal job because I don't think she knows. I
But I
think
think even if she still do it.
She said.
she
No.
probably would, but I'm thinking right now though, I don't think she knows. I think she literally is just saying your mama, and I think the fact that people like don't do that is probably making her do it more. instead of telling her why she shouldn't do that because she don't know. But I do think that Mia would not have gotten that room if she hadn't told her story. I think Candiace would have got picked first and then Mia, because I think Wendy, prior to finding out about Mia's mom, was still a little annoyed with Mia too. Because in the last episode, Wendy and Mia was arguing too, and they were
Yeah,
going
and
back.
then Wendy was the one who ran and told Candiace what Mia was doing.
And they were arguing about it at the party.
Yeah.
Right, because they didn't feel like it was the time. I wouldn't have told, like, if I heard somebody say something about Nene, I wouldn't have told her right then and there. I would have waited till after everything was done, because I already know you're stressed out with you're not having the cars, you're not having this, you're not having that. I'd wait a minute. But like I said, her mom was totally
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, her mom was
was
out
just
of line.
yes,
And
her
she
mom
didn't
was
own any of it.
totally
She didn't own any of it.
totally
Because she was
wrong.
even like, I don't remember what was said. You remember what was said.
You
You're just
remember
having
what you
second thoughts.
said. You remember what you were implying.
Mhm.
Like,
Yeah.
at the end of the day, Mia has already said that she doesn't have a lot of female friends and that she really doesn't know how to talk to people. She's already said that. So sometimes you just have to go in it with a grain of salt. Okay, you think my stuff is low budget. Yeah, you're right. I think it too if people didn't show up. If you could deflect and take it the way she takes her stuff. And as we
Right.
see, it does bother her because she's crying in the next episode. So some of that stuff finally sinks in, or something bothered her. I think it was more about her mother, because that can be very sensitive.
Yeah.
And who knows how much it took for her mom to even come on the show and show her face and be a part of the storyline, only to either be made the brunt of people's jokes or to be criticized or said things to. Now, one of the things I thought was funny was when we first saw her interact with those grandkids, they knew their grandmother.
Mhm.
It's not like they walked up to her and didn't know who she was, or they were told to go give her a hug, or how you do with kids who don't know people, or their family but they don't know them. They're just kind of like but no, they ran right up to her. So the idea that they've never spent much time with her, I don't buy, because they seem too comfortable
Mhm.
with her. They were asking her questions. She's more in their life than I think she's letting on. I think that they're not in her life the way her sister's kids are, and they're not
Yeah.
going to be, because they live with her. So therefore, you're not going to have that kind of interaction, or your kids aren't going to have that kind of interaction. And I think
You're right.
it's so crazy. I mean, I have 3, so it'll be interesting to see what happens. But it's interesting to me how everyone sees their siblings as something different.
Yeah.
I have a good relationship with my father because I choose to have a good relationship with my father. I It's not that he likes me the best and that I'm his favorite. It's that we worked on our relationship to have it where it's at. We don't know the
Yeah.
situation between Mia and I'm not Mia, the sister and the mother. And if you were so worried about her when she got out of jail, why didn't you have her come stay with you?
Exactly.
So that's why you can't always be so upset with the grandparent and the relationship they have with the grandchildren. It's not so much that that's who they chose or that's their favorite. It's just that's where they're at, and they get to see this
Yeah.
grandchild more than they get to see that one. Not that they don't care for them.
Yeah. Like when she had told mom, I want you to come and stay with me with my nanny. Maybe that's not how her sister approached her with it. And I'm sorry if my son was like, well, I want you to come to my nanny and I can come and babysit for you. Maybe I don't want to live there as a nanny. And I think there's nothing wrong with her saying, she didn't want to.
Yeah,
We don't know what kind of arrangement she has with the sister.
right. And I think but like I said, just the fact, I get you nervous of more than one night, because I do believe she said they've stayed with her, or she stayed with them for a night. But this would be the first time that it's been maybe unsupervised. I'm not too sure in how long. I think they said 2 or 3 nights. So that I can definitely get. But just like I said, seeing how they were interacting with them at the ice cream shop, those kids knew their grandmother. That it's not like they were like, "Who's that lady?" or "Who is she?" and "How long?" or who, they knew who she was. They gave her hugs. They were asking her questions. They were totally into having ice cream with their grandmother.
Mhm.
So I don't know how much of that, you know, I'm not saying she's not being truthful, but I don't know that it's not being exaggerated just based on
Yeah,
their
yeah.
energy.
Just don't know
Yeah.
what her view of what their relationship is.
Hmm.
What she feels is going on with her and her mom. Because
Yeah.
maybe if we talk to the mom, it's going to be completely different.
Yeah.
But yeah,
And like even with my parents, before when I thought there was a chance I wasn't going to have a relationship with my parents. That had nothing to do with my kids. I'd still drop my kids off. They can still come and see their grandkids whenever they wanted. I'd drop them off whenever they wanted them to stay the night. But as far as my relationship with them goes, it was going to be cut.
yeah,
But that didn't happen. But anyways, I just think I don't know. It was just, there was so much that happened this episode. I do feel like we're missing something. I wish we've missed Yolanda for the last couple weeks.
I know.
Maybe she could have kept us on what else was going on or what we didn't talk about.
Right.
But
And
Candiace
so,
is angry.
yeah, Candace is
Candiace is
very
mad
angry,
about
and
something.
she needs to figure out what is upsetting her and handle that situation.
Hmm.
If you're upset about everybody's comments about your man, how about you try to help him fix it, or you figure out it's something that I'm okay with?
Or
Because,
you be secure. Okay, so what? I pay my man to manage me, and you know what I'm saying?
mhm,
Be secure in your decision. It is your life.
right,
You do with it as you see fit. Not everybody's going
yeah,
to agree.
oh,
Everyone's going to
right.
have an opinion, and everyone's going to have shit to say.
Yeah,
So
and
what?
I thought
Ooh.
that when she was coming after G, because especially if I had been in Mia's place, I would have started up on Candace because that's a sore spot for her. I would have been like, oh, but what about your unemployed baby daddy sitting in there? So I think Candace also she doesn't think. I feel like about what she's saying, what she's doing, because she's so hell bent on being mad and trying to say something. And so Demille says, "Well, I have a good relationship with my mom because I am her favorite." Well, I mean, what? Jamil tends to come in and pick on me, so I'm not gonna say, "Okay, Jamil, you're her favorite."
Oh, I thought he was picking on me. That's okay.
I felt like
Most
it was
parents
directed
don't
at
tell their
me.
kids who's the
So
favorite.
Jamil
That's
got me
just what
so self
you believe.
conscious. I
Or
think
you're
it
the only
was
child.
about
Or
me.
you're the only son.
Yeah, are you picking on me, Jamil? Well, the last time I suspected that Reese was Jamel. Let me see your hands, Reese. She may have a keyboard over there.
I know.
You saw me doing this.
Right. So, Risa, what did you think about Candace calling G in there when she was making the whole pimp comments?
Oh, I mean, it just flowed with her calling out her name. It flowed. To me, it made sense because she was saying that's your pimp. Like pimp, hey, come get your girl. Come, you know what I'm saying? Like, so to me it made sense. Was it okay or right? No. But she's super immature. We've already established that she
How
does some
old is
she by
Candiace? Is
her
Candiace in her 30s or is she in her
She's in
20s?
her early 30s, and then Chris is 8 years older than her. That's
Okay.
what they were saying. Yeah.
yeah.
Oh, Jamel, when you know, huh, Jamel?
But I
We'll
just
let
feel
you have
like
that, Jamel. We'll let you have that.
Yeah. Giving it over to Jamel. Absolutely. But yeah. So I think it's going to be interesting to see next week. Next week looks like it's going to be a pretty good episode. And then we see that the others who did not come, they are there. Um, So, like, I want to see why they say they show up, even though I have my suspicions on why they arrived.
I
But
think you're right. I totally think they were forced to go. I think they had no intentions of going at all.
Mhm.
I don't think they wanted to be there. And it gets heated next week because,
yeah,
woo,
because
Ashley
Ashley
and
and
Candiace go
Candace
back
get into
again,
it.
go at it. But Chris is trying to grab Candiace out the restaurant because she's doing too much. And that part, I was
Yeah,
like,
but see, that's not the first time he's had to grab her up. Because, like, that time when her and Ashley got into it, and she had picked up that butter knife and was waving it about, he grabbed her and was trying to get her away.
I love how she's so quick to grab objects, but she can't throw them hands.
That's why you grab an object.
Feel like the first thing you should be grabbing is that fist and just hitting somebody with it. Why you gotta
Right.
grab stuff?
Because if she can't fight, she go get them objects.
That's why I guess that's the blinding reaction, right? Hit them with
Mhm.
something that hurts, I guess.
I
That's
don't know.
crazy.
I almost feel like it's a waste for them to come other than to see the drama, but I feel like this is like such an unenjoyable time. Like, if they just gonna fight like that the whole time, I'm like, ugh.
It's
Right.
better when
It
they're having
seems like,
fun.
hmm?
I said
Yeah,
it's
it's
Yeah.
always
like,
better when they're having fun. To try and keep up with why they're upset with one another is crazy. I don't give Karen her props often, but I give her props on this episode for really trying to move forward. And even
mhm,
last episode,
Yeah.
she did a good job. I was actually like, go
mhm.
ahead, Karen.
Yeah. Because,
And you
like,
know
she
I'm
even
not
said
a Karen
gonna,
fan.
yeah, she's gonna invite
Yeah,
Giselle's wedding and
she's
stuff.
finally
Yeah.
being
Right.
the matriarch and
Mhm.
showing the women how you're supposed to really act. Finally, so we'll see how long she keeps it up.
Yeah, because I think even in that last episode, she handled the comment about the bathroom better
Yeah.
than Wendy did.
Yeah. She actually did. And
Because she was like,
for
oh, I
me, I
can't.
know we didn't
Okay.
discuss that episode, but for me, that was just so uncalled for to be like, no, they can't use the bathroom in my home. Then why are you having a party at your home? First of all, I
I
really
know.
want to know why you're having a party in the construction zone. I'll be damned if I would have done it. And
I
then to
don't
try
know
to say,
why
well,
they
they
did
come in the
that.
bath. Yeah, it was
All the
terrible.
places they could have had it. They so could have had that at a restaurant. They could have had that at the place where they do the broadcast. I
Well, the
don't know why
broadcast is
she
in the
even want to have
basement of that
risked.
jalopy.
Yeah, I don't
Yeah.
know why she wanted to risk people's safety.
Right. She should have been passing out hard hats as the ladies arrived. Because that's what you do. You
Yeah,
have to zone.
I think I would have showed up and been like, "I'm sorry, I can't do
It's
it.
Oh
I'll
no.
see you
loud.
later."
It was loud. I'm like, that would have been a distraction in itself. Like the buzz
Yeah.
and the sounds, I'd have been like, okay. In the
Oh,
heat.
and then what about how Giselle's daughter Grace
Yeah,
wrecked
hit
Candice's car?
well what
She
is
didn't
even
wreck it.
crazier is,
She jerked it up pretty good.
Giselle, yeah, Giselle now, I think she was on Watch What Happens Live or something, but she was like, oh, Candace isn't worried about her 2015 Lexus getting hit. I'm like, really? Your child hit her car. And you're
Giselle,
gonna
you
make
better
that
stop.
comment?
You
Like,
better pay that woman to get her car all straightened out. Because there
I'm
was
like,
so
at
many
the
exactly.
other
same
women
time,
who
why
could have
would
And
drove.
as
Candace
you
have her
say, it's a
movie?
20, yeah, you're saying 2015 as if it's so old and it wouldn't cost you that much to get it fixed. So get it fixed, girl.
So get it
you know?
fixed.
Like,
Yeah.
that was stupid of Candace to have her move it. Like, why'd you have her knowing that she just learning to go move it? Like, so in my opinion, it's Candace's own fault that it got messed up because you got a brand new, non-experienced driver moving your car. If your car is important to you, you're not gonna have her do that.
That's true too.
But you know what?
Because I'm
I do
like,
fault Candace some with that, but because the first thing I would have said was like, does she have her license? I would have definitely asked, like, put it on to Giselle, like, can she drive? I remember when I was around the driving age and I try to get somebody's keys, they're like, do you have your license? Do you know how to drive? They weren't just throwing keys at me either, you know?
it's like she
Try to
didn't
do
care.
all.
The girl was like, you sure? And then she's like, yeah, go ahead.
Nah,
So
Giselle.
like,
I don't think Giselle was encouraging that. It
no,
was
no,
Grace who was
no.
like,
It
I
was
can
Yeah,
do
I
because
it.
they
wasn't
said
saying she
they
was encouraging it, but I'm saying
no, no,
that
but
Candace should have said something to her. I would have
Yeah,
been
I
like,
think Janelle was kind of giving her the hint. I wouldn't have her drive your car, but if you do, I think she did kind of give her the hint, like,
But
nah.
Giselle wasn't over there when she told her to do
Oh,
it.
okay. And Grace was like, I'll do it. I'll do it. I can do it. Yeah, I can do it. And then
Did she?
watching how she drives that little Gucci car,
that's a
I was like,
mess.
oh my gosh.
I'm like, see, that's you need to give that Gucci card back to your dad so he can help pay off those taxes. All right, so
Oh
Jamel
my
says, help me out. Why was
gosh.
actually pumping in the car? So, I'm assuming Jamel is a man now. Okay. So when you're breastfeeding, your boobs become engorged. And so sometimes you need to get that out. So I guess that's what happened. So she needed to get that out of her boobs. Or otherwise it's gonna start hurting if you don't get it out. All right. So Kim says her mama kept saying she can't drive.
Okay.
Okay. So
That's why I fought
um
Candiace for that one.
Yeah.
Ain't no way. 2015 or not. I would have just
As
moved
soon
my
as
own car.
as soon
it
and
had been
then Robin, as
2005.
soon as Robin, she was like,
Yeah,
you're gonna drive? Yeah, she said I could. I'd be like, nah, give me those keys. No. It's like, it's actually crazy because my oldest son, he can actually drive pretty well. But my daughter, well, she doesn't have her license yet. But you think because she's older, she'd have better experience. I'd rather you let my son drive it than my daughter. Oh, she scares me. Oh, goodness.
Yeah.
Yeah, so there any other parts that y'all can think of that you wanted to talk about or try to
Mm,
clarify?
trying to think what else happened.
But you know something else that I'm gonna say? Candice is very comfortable with acting up in front of Chris. Which, normally like with women, when we got our man with us, we're not gonna be doing all of this extra and acting crazy.
Well, she act
So
crazy
I
with
don't
him.
know. But
I think she's
she
just
she
immature
does
with
act
that.
crazy with him, but there's a lot of times where it's something going on with the ladies and Chris got to get involved. Chris is getting, they're having to break up fights. Like Michael Darby, he gets involved entirely too much, but I feel like Chris has to come in and try to calm Candace down quite a bit.
Well,
Well,
So,
that's how
nobody else
Michael and
was.
Chris got into it last time because Michael was trying to tell him, come get your chair.
yeah, but
And
on
Chris,
that one, the way Michael said it, I know Chris just thought he was talking in general to him, like, you need to get your wife under control, not realizing that his wife really was screaming at the top of her lungs across the club.
yeah. But
Yeah.
that's like I said, the fight between them next week looks very interesting. Because I don't
Yeah.
even know why she's even worried. Oh, I can't remember who said what, but it was something about the fact of why Michael wasn't there. And she was just saying he's just doesn't want to be around you guys. Now I think if Juan were there, Michael would have showed up.
Oh
But
yeah. Oh, he
since
would have came. Yeah, he would have
yeah,
ran. But
they seem like
yeah.
they hang out quite a bit because even when Candiace and not Candiace, when Robin and Ashley were talking, they were talking about their husbands or their significant other, well, husband, significant other. And yeah, so they must hang out a lot more than I guess we think.
That
No,
face she made.
Juan. I mean, Michael definitely likes wine. you know, he sends the light up when he starts talking about wine. Which I'm sorry, if I was Ashley, I'd be like, what do you seem so happy about? We won. Like, come here, let's have a conversation. But it's like she just keeps talking like she doesn't even realize what's being said to her, and I'm like,
Not at all.
okay. Yeah, so it's just weird. Like that whole thing there is weird. Um, yeah, so I don't know. But yeah, so I mean, outside of that, that was the episode. And so, Kim, Jamel, do y'all have anything to add? I guess not. All right, but I can't wait for next week's episode. I know I've been complaining about all of their fighting, but it's just like what you guys said. I want to see them having fun. I want to see them doing stuff. Make me want to go to Chesapeake Bay. You
I
know,
don't think we're
that's
gonna
been
get that. Though. I ain't seen nothing fun. Just fight.
yeah.
Right.
Seems like
Like
all they're
even
doing.
in the preview, unless they just only gave us a clip and then it's actually gonna turn fun. I hope so.
Oh.
Her husband in the
Yeah,
picture.
that big old cardboard picture she brought.
Yeah. I was like, you really need to bring a family portrait with you,
A
honey?
family photo. Did it really have to be the family photo? Could it not be what was in her phone or in her
Yeah.
wallet? Did it really have to be a
Right.
big old poster board?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a big old picture.
Big old
Yeah.
picture.
That's true. That was weird.
Yeah, that was very strange.
In a old little cutesy like something she would do way, but it was weird.
Yeah, it's very weird. Ashley's been doing some weird stuff lately, though.
But I feel like if you feel like you had to do all that, maybe don't go to the couples event. Like I wouldn't have if I ain't have nobody to take. Probably wouldn't have went either.
All right. Well, you know what? No, I'm not gonna say that. I probably still would have gone. Maybe I would have brought somebody else with me. Um,
Yeah. Yeah. Well, that's why she wanted Robin to go, just to make sure she wasn't gonna be by
Yeah, so
herself.
she had
But
somebody.
yeah.
Yeah, because
mhm.
I don't. Why didn't Ray go?
Well, Ray is coming. He said he had to work. Yeah, so he
Oh,
had to
okay.
work it into his schedule. So Ray is coming, and then oh, what's about to say about them? Oh, and then I think another reason why Ashley wanted them to come because Ashley has been on their side, you know, help tag team. So she's probably like, I need y'all there with me, otherwise they're gonna tag up on me. You know, that was the feeling I kind of got. Was one of the
Yeah,
reasons why she was
and
definitely
that's
like,
not the case. That is Candiace and Mia. Boy, I
Candice
tell
is
you.
cute this time, yeah. Candice,
Then
yeah, yeah.
well, I know she's not going to feel any kind of way because Candiace can't own up to her own stuff. But it's crazy to me if you go back and watch that episode how you can't see your mom was at fault too. It wasn't all just Mia.
Mia wasn't even the only one that was talking to your mom.
And she was so mad at Mia. She wasn't mad at Giselle. She wasn't
Yeah, and
mad at
then Robin
anybody else. She
straight
was
up
mad at
was
Mia.
like, yeah, and then what Robin said something like, do you think he's riding her coattails or do you think he's using her or something? Robin had said. I mean, I felt like that was worse than her being like, is he getting paid to be the manager?
Right. But
Because
yeah.
Robin flat out asked your mom, does she think Chris is using you? But
Yeah.
That
not
was
gonna
Giselle
attack
came
them.
back and said, "Yeah, I had made the comment about him being on her coattail." That's what Giselle said. Robin asked, she's like, "I was kind of wondering that. What is he getting paid?"
Yeah. And then she said practically, or I forgot how her mom put it, but her mom was
She was wrong. Even when they were talking to the mom and Chris, when Candace and the mom were talking and Chris walks in the room and he's like, you have never paid a bill that had Chris's name on it. And the mom was looking like, oh, I haven't. She didn't say it, but she did that face like,
yeah.
you know, so it's like, okay, so you're further leading us to believe that you are taking care of them.
Well, and I didn't like how when he said it's between me, Candace, our marriage. She paying me with a marriage, and we paying what she's paying. We paying with our marriage and prenup or something. She's like, okay, y'all got a prenup. That's good. It's like you cause enough problems, women.
Yeah. I mean, I'm sorry. Does she have that much money? Like, what does Candace have?
Well, from what they're trying to say is that Candace's mom, I guess, comes from money. And then her mom is like a psychologist or something like that. But her mom is married to a man who also has money. But word on the street is that Candace's mom is going through a divorce with the stepdad, and that supposedly Candace's last home was like in the stepdad's name or something. Somehow in the divorce decree, it was listed that that house had to be sold. So it's like, oh, is that the real reason y'all got your new house?
Mm.
Ah. Yeah, because I'm like, if she has all this money, then why does she only invest $10,000 in herself?
That's probably all she had, but there's no telling what the mom. Yeah, and then somebody
What is
else
she
had
in a
also made
prenup
this
for?
statement that
I
supposedly,
mean,
like,
I get it. If he
yeah,
comes from
but
nothing and
yeah,
owes a bunch of
and
child
then
support,
if what Candiace has is coming from her parents, they don't want that to be taken from, or they get stuck paying some alimony for him. But
then
yeah,
you set it up in a trust and you set those parameters there. That has nothing to do with her. That's the part I don't understand with people in all of this. She knew who he was. She knew who she was marrying. It's not like Chris just changed overnight. And we are going through a pandemic. I don't, you know how many restaurants have lost cooks and business, period, over the last year and a half. And then, of course, waitresses and waiters don't want to come back and are closing restaurants. And I mean, it's expected that he would have lost a job.
but what
I
is
just,
crazy, and I think what people are like picking on him about is he was claiming that the restaurant closed, but people online they find stuff, so they found the name of the restaurant that he supposedly owned and it closed or whatever he sold. And I know there was another YouTuber that called there asking about it. So the restaurant is still open. So it's kind of like, why did you say the restaurant closed if it's still open? So I think that's part of it. Like, it's just like, well, why is there so much inaccuracy coming out your mouth?
yeah.
So I think that's where some of it comes from. So Demel says it looks like the husbands got along well. They really did. It looked like they were having a good time, and the women are in
Yeah.
there yelling and screaming like a bunch of
Well,
cackling
except
chicks.
for G, because G was sitting on the couch. He wasn't outside with the guys. I think he was
Yeah,
letting
but I
his
think
food settle.
yeah, he was trying to sober up real quick.
Yeah.
Yeah, because they
Lord
could hear
knows
the
he did
ladies
not need to fall.
screaming. Yeah, because they showed one part where the guys were together and you could hear the screaming in the background. I'm like, oh, they're probably just trying to chill out. What Jamil says, because she low budget, that's why she only did $10,000. I think she
She
just
is.
doesn't have it like that, so that's why, she had $10,000. So that's what she, tried to do with her little $10,000. But it didn't look like it didn't stretch very well, so she didn't have those cars.
I hope she got some of that money back. So maybe it was actually only $6,000.
Yeah. Yeah, that's if they paid for those cars.
Did they pay to rent those cars?
Exactly. That's my thing. Because if you paid to rent them, they should have been there if you paid those folks.
Yeah.
Yeah, but if you got it from a shady place and they got you, you do.
Throughout the money.
I'm saying, like, I legit think it could have been like they got them from the wrong people and the people just didn't show up. Or and people like, well, we can't make it. Oh well.
Or they had their times mixed up because she was late.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's one of those things we'll never truly know.
Yeah.
So that's one thing. I don't know.
But
I have my own suspicions about it, but I don't know.
yeah, but I think the husbands, like that had to been frustrating for them. Like, you trying to have a good time, all the
Yeah.
guys, the fellas trying to talk and maybe get to know each other more because I think they've all hung out before. But then it's like, then you hear them in there screaming and fighting. So it's like, all right, here we go. We have to go break this up soon.
Yeah.
Or night finna
Yeah, I
end
believe that would
bad.
get exhausting.
Right. And then if you're
Especially if you're
wiping it
wiping.
off,
You're gonna have to deal with like hurt feeling wives and
yeah, exactly.
And
yeah,
you
or the
gotta
ones
hear it all
who feel
night.
like I was here to have fun and this is how it turned out and they're ruining my thing, like I don't know.
Look, Jamel is turning on you, Johnny.
I see. I
Usually
am
Jamel
shady.
comes after me.
I am reasonably shady. Oh,
Sorry,
goodness.
Jamel says, LOL 6,000. Now that was shady. I mean,
You get what you pay for.
right. What you pay for. So yeah. All right, like I said, I think it was a pretty good episode. I was just a little disappointed with the way the episode ended, but Bravo has been doing that. They've been
I
playing
love
with
how
us.
they end it like in the middle of the fight, and then the next
Right.
episode it's only like 30 seconds long.
Yeah, it's like it picks up at the end of the fight. I'm like, I want to know what happened in between.
Right.
No,
I
they
support.
stop. Look, the letters be mid sing, like mid fly, and they stop it.
Yeah.
And they come on, it's
Like
like,
pause.
and then fight over.
Yeah,
Right.
You see the letters fall the rest of the way down. Like, oh, that was it. Yeah, I could have finished that.
That's funny.
exactly. Well, all right, guys, that was the show. Make sure you check us out. Every Monday, we do a recap of the Real Housewives of Potomac. And then on Saturdays, we do recaps of Life After Lockup. All righty. And so thank you for joining us. Make sure you hit the like button on the way out. And if you haven't subscribed, go ahead and hit that subscribe button on your way out as well. As always, thank you for watching. Bye, guys.
Bye.
Peace.